How hot is it? I am going to be very truthful about something. Last class got stuck here and had some fun with it. They were actually fairly interested in it as we went. So what happened was we took a little bit of time discussing some of the things in here because there's a lot of cool implications in this game that we're using to lead off our discussion of heat. So without further ado, you have your list out. Let's go ahead and make any changes if you want to. 1, make sure you have things listed 1 through 9. You don't yet. Okay, but make sure you have everything there. As we go through these 9 items, make any changes that you want to make. You can change them now as we go over them, and I'll do a quick explanation. So listen to the little stuff. All right, Ms. Lewis, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you 9 different items. This is not 9. This would be 9, but I'm just going like this with my hand. Okay, I'm going to show you 9 different items, and I want you to rank them in order from hottest to coldest. So number 1 will be the hottest thing I show you, and number 10 will be the coldest thing I show you. Should be good to go. Is that how we did it here? Just we did 1 to 9. Oh, 1 we did it, right? Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and hit it. Now, you do not need to worry about in any way, shape, or form. You do not need to worry about remembering all these. Okay, I'm going to go over them all, and at the end you get to see them all as you rank them. All right, who's getting their temperature taken? Oh, Dan Carlson. And he was like, oh, I was hoping you'd forget. Great, we have Dan Carlson's body temperature. We're going to assume that he is not sick, but he is concerned, and it's not appropriate. Put your shirt on, please. So we have normal body temperature. That's one of the things we are going to rank. We do have hot chocolate or hot cocoa. Okay, now I think we talked about yesterday it being just sippable. So this hot chocolate or hot cocoa, you can't chug it because it's too hot. You'd be like, oh, it'd be burning your face. Okay, so you can't chug it, but it is cool enough where you can go like this. Oh, that's good. Okay, you can't like stick your tongue right in there. You're gonna burn it and get that weird dead spot that you feel the rest of the day. It's like the pizza cheese burn. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that thing right there.
Like makes my tongue full.
Yeah, so we got that. That's good. It gives like the little dead spot where you can't taste anything for a little while. It's so disappointing. All right, so back to the hot chocolate. How hot is it? It's hot enough where you can sip it without burning yourself. So you can like touch it to your face without burning yourself, but you can't like stick your face in it. Great. Next thing you are going to be ranking is simply ice that comes out of the freezer in the form of an ice cube. And I think we decided yesterday there's nothing funny about ice cubes, no joke. Next, we're talking about light bulbs. The light bulb is on, despite saying this 5 times. A certain Levi said, you never said the light bulb was on. The light bulb is on. It's on in the picture, and I'm telling you it's on. In fact, it says the word on 6 times today. And I also mentioned the word on a couple times. And just to clear things up, we're going to talk about the actual wire itself that has electrons flowing through it, causing light to be emitted from it. So we have the actual metal part of a light bulb. Next up, we have an oven. Oh, this is the fish cookies class. We have an oven set to bake fish cookies. Now, you might not know, Kavanaugh loves fish cookies, but you may not know exactly what temperature fish cookies are baked at. Doesn't matter. Any baking temperature, anywhere between like 300 and 500, all good. Okay? Like, let's call it just somewhere in the middle for baking. All right, so we got fish cookies getting baked in an oven. Next, we have a nuclear explosion. We need to be really clear about where you are. You are standing right there for the nuclear explosion. The bomb is here. You go like this. All right, you got the big old button right here. You're like, boom. Got it? And you got the thermometer. You're like, ah. And you're reading the thermometer. Okay, so you're actually cooking the explosion itself. Next. That right there is liquid nitrogen. Again, you're making any changes that you want as you hear the explanations of these. We're looking at liquid nitrogen. Liquid nitrogen, I almost said something about it that would give it away. Liquid nitrogen is going to be coming into our classroom next week. We're going to do some neat stuff with it. It comes in this big old container called the Dewar. It's actually cool just to look at the big container. It's neat the way that it's set up. All right, next thing we are going to rank in order is going to be room temperature. And I think in here we were talking about grandparents having their feet super hot. Oh, and this is Mr. Patterson's house, and we can tell because he is 6 steps high. Oops, sorry, I just streamed that one live in front of thousands of people on the internet. Hopefully he's not watching. So here we go. We have normal room temperature. What it's normally set at, and a normal thermostat. And again, not your grandma's house. It's got 16 cats and it's 150 under there. Next. Gotta listen to this one. I don't want you to get confused here. This is the surface of the sun. It's not to say pleasant sunset that you're watching from your car. You're actually going to the surface of the sun and sitting on it and taking your thermometer and being like a right on the surface, okay? Next. Those are your 9. So you guys are going to take one last look at your ranking list. We have body temperature, we have surface of the sun, we have nuclear explosion standing right there. We've got ice cubes, we've got liquid nitrogen, we have an oven that is baking fish cookies, we have sippable hot chocolate, we have the metal part of a light bulb, and we have normal room temperature. From this point forward, you will need to be silent. You're making any changes that you want to take, and those are going to be finalized. Now, while she's writing down her choices, which might take you a couple minutes, that's fine, take your time, we need to talk about how this is going to work. I have had one student so far, and I've seen half the team, so I've seen 48 kids, had one student with all of them correct, okay? Which is actually kind of interesting when you think about it, okay? So what I need you to do is realize that if I get somebody here that's correct, I'm going to give you 3 bonus stickers that you can stick into this portfolio to throw it up 3 points, okay? If you are the highest person in the class, then you will, but you didn't get all of them, but you're the highest person in the class, I will go ahead and give you 2, okay, unless you are tied. If you are tied and you didn't get them all and all the things, then you get nothing. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, what's up?
Okay, I just have to say, me and Amanda have the same thing, and we didn't, is this coincidence?
I believe you. I think
We
you
have
did.
binders this high, and we didn't even look at each other's papers.
Okay, wow, that's just
Wasn't that right?
Hello, oh, I do. Hello, little friend. Yeah.
Let's go see.
Thank you. I don't have anything for her.
That's okay.
You sure? Let's get the on for her.
Hey.
The receipt. Good. Nara, your card, my driver's license, that'd be funny. A picture of me and my wife from college. I'm sorry, I got nothing.
Oh,
thank you.
You are.
And give her a hug. That'd be good. No, actually, scrap that. Do not give a hug. That's good. Here, let's just get a random newspaper delivered, but it says like 1930. Extra, extra, read all about it. That's good. Oh, I forgot all that's getting streamed live. I do apologize to our audience at home, all 4 people that are watching. Okay, so we are back. Oh, that was perfect. You now are done. Oh, great. We are ready to play. Okay. I'm going to ask you for the coldest thing first. I'm going to have you start at the bottom of your list, which is weird. I'm going to wait until I have a whole bunch of people with their hands there before we start. Now, you might lose out early. And if you lose out early, don't worry. There are lots of losers in the world. Okay? You can just join them. And you can still participate. Feel free to participate even if you no longer have a correct order. Please don't change your answers because you're over the age of 4, and we should be in pretty good shape. So from this point forward, I need a whole bunch of people with their hands there to tell me if they know what the coldest thing up here would be. What would be the coldest? So we're looking at your number 10 first. Wow, lots of people. I'm sorry, number 9. Thank you. I did 10 one year. That's not me. All right, so let's hear it. Heart rate, let's hear it. Yes, you'd be surprised on how many kids know something about liquid nitrogen, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of info. Liquid nitrogen actually has a boiling point of, and we'll talk about this more next week, about 196 degrees below 0 on the Celsius scale. So if you were, like, if I dumped it out on your table, which I'll do when I comes in here, it's actually so cold. And its boiling point is so low that the heat from your table will cause it to boil right on your table, which is neat. You ever drop like a drop of water in a frying pan and does like the dance around and the sizzle and then it's gone? Do you know what I'm talking about? Or like how it like jumps around? It does the same thing on like your table. If I take this, put it on the table, the heat from your table will actually cause it to evaporate and boil right in front of your face. And it's just gone. Because I was like, what happens if you touch it? You will freeze yourself. And they call it a burn. But you basically, if you stuck your thumb in there, held in for long enough, it would get cold enough where the watery cells would freeze, they would burst, so that's kind of what frostbite is. And eventually it would turn, like later, it would turn black and probably fall off, so they'd have to remove it because it'd be dead and start to rot. But here's something really cool. If you stuck your thumb in there, this is not really cool, I don't know why I use that word, but if you stuck your thumb in there and you left it there for a while, and then I took it out and set it on the table, I'd take a hammer and I could hit it, it would shatter like glass. Really cool. In fact, we're actually going to be doing. Oh, hold on. I understand you're excited about this, but you don't want to miss the point. What we are going to do, and you want to make sure you're not asking for this, is we're going to put stuff in it. you wouldn't think that would happen to. And you can actually like put a balloon in and get it to shatter like glass. The cool part is those little pieces will actually make like the glass sound when they fall on the floor. But then when you wait like 30 seconds or a minute, they'll actually thaw and then they'll be all floppy again. Which is kind of a weird thing. So I'd smash your hand or your thumb and it would go all over the place. But then each one of the little pieces would eventually like thaw back to flesh and then they would bleed and stuff. That would be so weird. Let's not talk about that anymore. Awesome. So which thing up here is the next coldest? Cool. You're doing a good job of talking when you're supposed to talk and not talking when you're not supposed to talk. Thank you for that. What's the next coldest? What do you think it's ever?
Ice cube.
I definitely agree that ice cube is your number 8. The kids are like, how cold are ice cubes? Well, ice cubes, when you take them out of the freezer and put them in a glass, they usually warm up to about 32 degrees. We're going to use Fahrenheit scale for now. We'll talk about a conversion a little later on. Usually about 32 degrees. Now, in your freezer, they're colder. That's why, you ever get ice out of your freezer and the ice will stick to your hand for a minute because it's super cold? That ice is about 20 degrees on the Fahrenheit scale. But we're about 32 degrees on the, I wrote Celsius, sorry. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you noticed that. It's 0 degrees on the Celsius scale. I got 32 on the Celsius, 32 on Fahrenheit. I'm just trying to give you some relative temperatures. We're not formally talking about this yet. Great, so there's your coldest, there's your second coldest. How many of you are still in? You got those first 2 correct. Good, then I'm going to pick up the pace. Again, I will draw this out as long as you want to, a whole bunch of cool examples, so long as I feel like everybody is paying attention and into it. So, what's the next coolest thing? Or the next hottest? What comes next on our continuum? Well, coldness to hot. Okay? What do you think's going on here? Yeah, Kavanaugh.
Body heat.
Body heat. Let's take a quick peek. Body heat. I am going to disagree with body heat. There is something right there. Just curious, do you know what body heat is? Do you know the temperature for body heat? Standard body heat?
Like 98.
I definitely agree. Okay, definitely agree. I'm glad you know that. If you look at each one of these, there's one of these that's definitely not at 98 degrees if things are normal. It might get there. There's definitely one that wouldn't hang out at 98 degrees. Amanda? Yeah, I would agree with you. That room temperature would be next to the house.
Yeah, I thought hot cocoa. That's not even hot.
Well, it's over here. If you want to take a look.
I read it wrong.
Oh, I agree that that's a possibility.
I read it wrong. I read 6 instead of 7.
I got that.
No, I got it right still.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad that you did, because I was getting nervous that maybe you have some issues with that. So I'm actually glad for you. Okay, that's good. Now, you want to have some discussions, and it's good that you put different things. The only thing is we have to do it in an organized way, because people are interested in seeing how their guesses do. And if we do I put this, it's not going to work. But if we raise our hands and we talk about the temperatures, it'll make it a lot easier. All right, I seem to get some confliction with this, and the hot cocoa, you think? Do you think the hot cocoa is going to get in there? I want to hear what you're thinking.
Yeah, because like hot cocoa, it can't be like would it be more than 72 degrees or more?
Well, I'm trying to think which would be warmer, sitting on your couch or sitting in a cup of hot chocolate in your living room.
Not sitting on the couch.
Not sitting on the couch. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to go with that right there. So we'll get the temperatures up, though, and you can see the relative difference. Good guess, though. How many of you are still in? Okay, I got most of you. Excellent. All right, so let's continue. We got a few things left here. We've got number 7 already taken care of. So which would be number 6 of the things we have left? So after room temperature, again, we're going from coldest to hottest. What would be the next coldest thing? That's what we're looking for. Hannah, what are we looking for?
Body temperature.
Body temperature, number 6. Definitely agree. Now, body temperature, okay, body temperature is going to be about 98 degrees or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, which I think is around 37 degrees on the Celsius scale. Okay, a 98-degree day in your living room would be awful. A 98 degrees in your living room would be dangerous. Very rarely, I bet you almost never, has gotten up to 98 in your house. It might get up briefly 98 outside, but still in your house in the shade, probably never. So it's definitely not standard room temperature, which is going to be about 20 or 30 degrees colder than that. Okay? So let's continue. What we can't do is take too many tangents because we do have to watch our time a little bit. So did you have a question, or do you think it might be questionable to answer right now? Go ahead.
Well, I said, why don't we, like, Why do we think it's hot if it's 98 degrees and we're 98 degrees?
It's a good question. I'll take it, but I'm going to take it quick, okay? Your body is constantly generating heat, okay? And heat is a waste product. It's a byproduct. You have to get rid of that heat. You can't just keep that heat inside you all the time. Just like your body has to give off carbon dioxide and water vapor, heat is another thing that your body constantly needs to get rid of. And luckily, normal air temperature will take that heat away from you. You need to get rid of it. You need to dissipate it. Okay? Once you get up to temperatures that are close to body temperature, it's dangerous for you because your body can't get rid of the heat. And then your own body temperature will start to rise a little bit. Okay, it's like, if you've ever seen somebody with heat stroke and stuff like that, it actually causes severe brain damage if you get hot for a long period of time. Okay, it's actually more dangerous than hypothermia on the other side, which I got something really weird. All right, so let's continue back. We got 6, so which is 5? 5 could be a problem here. Which one of these things would be the next coldest after body temperature? What do you think of? What are you thinking, Kelly? Hot cocoa, I definitely agree. Number 5, now we said just sippable. Okay, so we got number 5 here. What makes it just sippable? I'll be real honest. Right around 120 degrees on the Fahrenheit scale is going to be just sippable. It's going to be about 20 degrees hotter than regular body temperature. That's where you can come in contact with it and be able to sip it. Now, sipping it, you cool it a little bit because you bring air in also. If you stuck your finger right in here or poured it on your face, you would burn yourself. Okay, you would stop. Like if you're like, hot chocolate, great! We'd have some issues there, okay? But it is sippable. It is definitely sippable. All right, let's continue. Hey, you know what? Here's a weird question that I got from the other class. And they said, well, what's like a hot tub? Because you ever go in a hot tub where you kind of can't. Wow, how do you just happen to know that right off the top of your head?
Whoa.
Look at he's like, high five.
Yeah.
You guys are so cool. High five on knowing the temperature of a hot tub.
I got
What?
hot
Yeah.
tub.
Okay, and then you keep it at 105.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess, you ever been to a hot tub where you have to get in it slow? Or you ever filled up your bathtub and it's so, you can get in it, but you gotta get in it slow. Like if it's a hot tub, you're like on one step and then you're like,
I don't know.
you're holding on to those things. Then you wait a minute and kind of get used to it, and then you get down to the next time, you're like, and then you stand there, you slowly get used to it. That's right around 105. You might be pretty used to yours. You might be able to pop right in yours. You might have to take it slow. I don't know. We'll have to see. So hot tubs are right around 105. Yeah, what's up?
Do they put chemicals in hot tubs?
Hold on 1 second. Somebody's talking over you, and it makes it hard for me to hear you. Go ahead.
Do they put chemicals in hot tubs?
Yeah, you have to put some chlorine and stuff like that in your hot
Oh,
tub.
because I'm allergic to stuff in wood.
Okay, wow, we're learning a lot of information about you. That's good. Okay, so let's continue. Since hot tub is not up here, we should probably put one on for next year. That would be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and see what we got left. By the way, when choosing between these 3, most of you should probably be, I'm sorry, 4 left. What do we got? Oh, then maybe this is difficult. Oh, we got light bulbs too. All right, cool. So let's go. Let's continue. What's next coolest? What's next coolest? All right, go for it, Katie. What?
Light bulb?
Light bulb. Number, what would that be? Number 4?
Yes.
No, it would be oven.
The oven would be
It's the oven.
Let him play in Price is Right.
Oven.
Okay, I am thoroughly impressed by your passion. Okay. However, we got to settle the score. So let's take a look at the numbers. Okay, we're going to say we're standard baking temperature, and I'm just going to call it 450. Some kids are like, I like to bake things at 425. I don't care. So there we go. We're like about 450, and we're going to take the filament of our light bulb at about. That was awesome, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't it? All right, so great. I heard something interesting. Stressy, was that you? It's hot enough to emit light. Did you say that? Well, that was a really good statement. You actually have to generate so much resistance, and I can use these words because we're coming off this chapter. You have to generate so much resistance of electrons going through that actually will heat enough to emit light stuff. That is crazy, crazy, crazy hot. I don't know if you've ever seen like NFL players, college football players, when they have tattoos, and sometimes they look like raised stars. one of the, you ever seen this before? It's like a college emblem and they do that. You actually can do that using like the metal tungsten filament of a light bulb. It'll cauterize, it doesn't even open as a wound, it just melts the skin right there and the scar will grow over it. So that's crazy, there you go, that's a good one for you. That's crazy hot, great. So that puts you at, correct, we're saying 4 here. And 5 here. All right, great. What? Wow, the passion is definitely going here. All right, so we're left between 2 and 1. Now we got to be careful. Now I'm just curious, who's still in? Anybody still in at this point? Good, I got about half of you. Okay, which is I'm in it because I put mine in the wrong order. Okay, that's great. Listen very carefully.
In the wrong order.
I know, I'm just teasing. All right, so now this gets a little bit difficult because we got 2 left. They're obviously the big guns that are left. Okay, these are big ones. To end World War II, we did not drop light bulbs on Japan. Don't get me wrong, that would be really mean. Really think about it. Imagine walking out your door and you're under attack, and thousands of hot light bulbs. Oh, that would be awesome. However, we got the big stuff. We got the big stuff left. So we got to have a very serious conversation. So let's bring it in. I'm going to need you guys to be quiet, and I need you guys really thinking about this because you don't want to mess with it. Okay, here's what we got. We got 2 and we got number 1. So what I want you to do is I want you to tell me which you think is the hottest and coldest of the 2 you have left. But, and this one's going to be different than the other ones, you need to tell me why you chose it. Got it? You got to do 2 things here. We got to hear this thing out. And I don't want you to have a debate, because I know you might want to debate it out. That's great. You talk to me, don't talk to each other. And we'll get all the ideas on the table. Okay, so now we're getting serious. What do we got here? What are you thinking?
A-bomb is 2, and then the sun is
Okay, so you think that the sun is hotter than the bomb, the nuclear bomb. Okay, great. We're going to need a why are you choosing that? So in your own words, it's fine.
Okay, because the bomb is not as hot as the sun, because the bomb only gets up to only like a couple thousand degrees, and like the core in the sun is...
Okay, so basically you're saying because it's hotter, because it has a higher temperature.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a pretty simplistic answer, but we'll take it. Because you're kind of saying it's hotter because it's hotter. But that's fine. Okay, like you already know that in your head. But that's cool, that's fine. What do we got? We need a little bit more of an
This is the
explanation.
same thing as right, but the sun is nuclear in a word. Like so, the sun is just a really big nuclear bomb, basically.
Yeah, they're both doing the nuclear thing. Okay, that's what
One's
you're
bigger
saying.
than the
One's
other.
actually doing fusion, the other's doing fission. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's like in a word. That's kind of what he meant there, because it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, so which were you going with? There's like
sun.
more sun there
Yeah.
than there is bomb.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Okay, that makes sense. So he's saying sun because like the sun is, can we simplify it this much? Because the sun is bigger than the bomb. I realize you're air fighting, but is the sun bigger than the bomb? That's where we're going? Cool, right here, what?
I say that the sun's hotter because it can provide heat to pretty much most of the planets in the solar system.
Yeah, now, we got good, you could stop right there, you don't have to, I'm gonna let you do your next one. That's pretty good, these are like the good stuff, this is what I'm looking for right now. There's more sun than bomb, I think that's kind of what you meant anyway, so it's fine. Now all of a sudden, we got the sun providing heat to the entire solar system, where a bomb isn't gonna necessarily heat an entire solar system. Cool stuff, did you want to say something else? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, and if we heated the tip of a pin to the temperature of the sun, it would kill everyone in a 1,000-mile radius.
Okay, good. Is that your own experiment at home?
Yeah.
I imagine people that live within 1,000 miles of you. Okay, where do you live in Brickville?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, you might not have somebody within 1,000 miles of you if you did, so you're okay. All right, go ahead, what?
Well, I think the sun is number 1 because the sun has like a core that keeps heating,
All right.
and so it's like us because the heat has to like get out, and you're like sitting on the sun with a thermometer, and you're further away from the bomb, so it has time.
You're not further away from the bomb, you're right on the
You're
bomb.
right on the
Do
bomb.
you remember that whole thing? We go like this and have the bomb. Okay, good, you gotta watch. Right on the bomb.
Right on the bomb.
But the sun's further away and it can still heat. How about that? Yeah, I like that. That's not a bad idea. Go on, we keep going. We gotta make it fast because I'm losing a couple over here. What, go?
Okay, I said the sun is hotter because, like, it...
Hold up, is everybody said the sun is hot? Okay, good, go ahead.
Because, like, it, like, can like, kind of like about the light thing with the light bulb, like, it lights up,
Like,
like, the
Light.
whole, the whole, like, earth, and it can, and stuff like that.
It like
And then-
lights up the whole earth from far away. Is that what you're trying to say?
And like,
Okay.
I just thought about this. If you put a nuclear bomb next to the sun and you blew it up, the nuclear bomb wouldn't cause as much light as the sun.
Now that's a good one. If you like put a nuclear bomb out there and you watched it from here,
Yeah.
that nuclear bomb explosion, you might not even, maybe you wouldn't even see it compared to the sun. You might, I don't know, but it definitely wouldn't be like the sun. Okay, I gotta wrap it at this point. I gotta wrap it on time. I'm sure there's good stuff in there. I'm sure, I'm absolutely sure, but I can't make my way all the way around. So let's check this out. We gotta get to the bottom of this. I'm pretty sure this is a first class where everybody has said sun and nobody's gone for nuclear. So just curious, does anybody want to make a case for nuclear? All right, then here we go. All you need from me are the numbers. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with nuclear. If you are right at the blast site, okay, touching the actual explosion itself, you are looking at 10,000 degrees. Okay, that's what we're looking at. All right, so let's continue. So the question is, be real careful and don't miss what I'm about to do. Please do not miss this, okay? Don't think that you get it, because the second part of this is even better. If you were to go to the surface of the sun and touch it, you'd be looking at about, it'll vary as much as 1,000 degrees.
Huh?
So according to this, which wins?
Nuclear.
Nuclear, but they're kind of close, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually they're not. I just want to make you feel better.
oh, yeah.
Here, go there.
Here's the whole point. The whole point comes right now. So take all those smart things that you were thinking and going to say, and get ready to answer some questions here. Do you realize they're not even close? The surface of the sun is going to be about 6, as high as 8,000 degrees. But when you're talking about that nuclear explosion, you're talking about 10 million degrees. You got that? So we are talking tons and tons and tons hotter. But I had a lot of really smart kids say a lot of really smart things that are right. The sun is able to power the whole solar system. Right. You can see the sun from far away. You can't see the nuclear explosion. You can feel the heat from the sun, but you can't feel the heat from the nuclear explosion from that far away. Those are all good things. Here's what some kid said in the other class. Well, you know how we dropped an atomic bomb on Japan? We dropped 2 of them, and there was a lot of damage. I was like, yeah. He said, imagine if we dropped the sun.
Oh my God.
I was like, dang! There's a threat. Yeah, you saw the nuclear bomb? Now take this! You know, that would be bad for us. You take this thing that is thousands of times the size of the Earth, you're like, boom, boom. Yeah, you melt the whole Earth every step. Even though the sun has a lower temperature than the nuclear bomb, there's something going on about the sun that makes it different than the nuclear bomb. I'm going to reveal it with a statement here, and then we'll reflect upon this in a little bit. I'm going to write it really, really weird. The nuclear bomb has a higher temperature. Don't worry, you're going to get a chance to talk to me in a minute. I can tell you if you want to. Nuclear bomb has, you can't do that at all, doesn't matter, has a higher temperature. But, and this is a big old but, oh yeah, sun has more Anybody want to crack at that? Anybody want to try to explain that? Because that's a tough explanation. It's actually what we're going to be looking at for the next 2 weeks. Heat and temperature are not the same thing. All right, Nikki Lewis, what's your try?
The sun, it keeps going and it keeps generating heat all the time, but an explosion or a nuclear bomb, it like goes all off at once. So there's more heat, like there's more of like a temperature or like a heat going into the bomb at once than with the sun, because the sun is like expanding its heat more. and a nuclear bomb is more centered at one.
Concentrated.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. Yeah, like, the sun keeps going and going and going, and the bomb's like that, like flash in the pan. That's a great explanation. In fact, let's just take that as the explanation for now. Just for now. I think that's a great point. I'm sure many of you can say other things. If you don't get that one, I always like this. This is a good one. Over here, I've got a kettle of hot chocolate, not for the whole class, okay? And it's just sippable, okay? We know what that means, just sippable. Just sippable doesn't mean hot chocolate, yay, okay? It means that you can just make it and not burn yourself, but if you dumped it on yourself, you would burn yourself, okay? So we're gonna put that there. Over here, I have boiling water, got it? A pan of boiling water. So sippable hot chocolate, boiling water. So here's what I have a question for. Which one of those two things would be hotter? Which would be hotter, yes?
I'm guessing the boiling water.
Boiling water, definitely hotter. Now, here is something weird. This would be hotter than this. This might be 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius. This one over here would only be about 120 degrees, okay? So this right here, boiling water is hotter. But if I took this and dumped it on your head, I would send you to the hospital, okay? If I took an eyedropper of the boiling water, even though it has a higher temperature, if this relates to what you're saying, imagine if I had an eyedropper of boiling water, and I took it. It's got a higher temperature than the hot chocolate, but I took that one little drop, and it went. Do you think you'd go to the hospital? It would hurt. But do you think you'd be going to the hospital? Like, no, not at all. Even though this has a substantially higher temperature than this has more heat energy in it, it's capable of doing more damage, because I just took a little bit of that, and it was over like that. Cool, here's what I need to do. Flip your page. We do need to wrap with a quick journal entry. 3 sentences each.
So wait, which one is number one, which one is number two?
You're looking at the temperatures, right here.
Mr. Fay, you never said we were doing it, you never really specified that we were, like, putting in the order based on temperature. You were saying
How hot?
but that wasn't necessarily.
Oh.
That's more things. So in reality, you were right.
So in reality, I agree with you, which is the whole point of the whole lesson. Awesome, perfect. All right, so we got to go 8, 9.
So I win.
Yeah, you always.
Wait, 8, 9?